all DEI across the federal government. He has terminated all federal workers involved in promulgating these unlawful policies.
There's a lot of people upset about that kind of stuff. A lot of people think it's not fair.
He has ended diversity, equity, and inclusion in all federal contracting. He has restored merit as the cornerstone of all federal policy, restored the full, fair, impartial enforcement of our federal civil rights laws for the first time in generations. And he has cracked down on individuals across this government and nonprofits who have engaged in illegal racial discrimination against the American people.
Which is exactly what he said he was going to do, and he's doing it. So even if they're upset, this is what the people wanted.
This includes making clear to every educational institution in this country that ending diversity, equity, and inclusion, ending unlawful race discrimination, is a precondition of receiving federal funds. He has also saved women's sports by ending the participation of men in women's sports.
I am so for that. I don't know if y'all saw the governor of Maine and how she is trying to fight back against all this stuff, but it's just insane to me. Today on X, they found a video of her attending a basically like a trans party, I guess you would call it, where she's up there dancing with them, which that's all good and fine. I think they should be able to have their parties and everything. That's great. But you shouldn't have dudes in women's sports. I think that's just common sense, and most people probably agree with me on that.
He has ended radical gender ideology across the entire federal government, and he's pressured the private sector to also end and combat radical gender ideology. He's reestablished the scientific and biological truth that there are only two sexes in this country, male and female, that those are biologically based determinations. They are not based and can never be based on gender identity. That includes rooting out of the Department of Defense all DEI policies, all critical race theory, all gender madness, and once again having a military that is focused solely and exclusively on readiness, preparedness, and lethality. As I'm sure
a lot of people in the military are upset too. They just fired the Air Force's chief of staff, and apparently he was well liked. They kind of look at it like him being fired because he's black. I'd like to see Trump's comments on why he actually fired him. Is it the terrible withdrawal from Afghanistan? Are they kind of putting him in that position